All right, this is the Conservation Commission of Fairfield, Connecticut, acting as the Inland Wetlands Agency. Today's Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022 at 7 o'clock meeting. It's now 7:05, and I'm calling the meeting to order. Me, Lucas Thomas, the chairman's here. Richard Boucher, the secretary, is here. Brian McCann is here, and I'd like to welcome to the commission as an alternate Peter Hood. Peter, welcome, and if you'd like to say a few words, feel free. And when you're done with that, I'm going to ask you to be put in as a full member for tonight. Okay?
It's my pleasure to be here. I look forward to working with you all. Volunteerism is important to me, so I don't want to take up your time. I just hopefully I get to know you all well at a later time, maybe in person, who knows, someday. But I'll look forward to it. But I'm very happy to be here, and I hope I can be of help to everybody else.
Welcome, Peter.
Welcome.
Thank you, Peter. All right, Sarah. So is that it? He becomes a full member because we say so, or do we got to vote on it?
Nope, you can't. You just appoint him to be a full member.
Okay. So then for tonight's meeting, I'll be appointing Peter Hood as a full member so that we have a full quorum, and which we do. And now we can go to item number 3, Roman 3, which is the bills and communications. Item A, approval of the meeting minutes of January 5th, 2022. Can I get a motion from anyone to approve the meeting minutes of January 5th, 2022?
I'll approve it.
Motion, and then Brian, you'll second that?
Yes, sir.
Very good. And now item B, approval of the recording secretary's bill of January 5th, 2022. May I have a motion to approve that?
I'll approve it.
And a second? Brian, thank you very much. Now we move on to item number 4, Roman 4, the Inland Wetlands Deliberative Session. Item A, old business. 1, which is IWPA 2021-22-02, COP 180 Catamount Road. Construct new dwelling, driveway, subsurface sewage removal disposal system within a regulated area. Last day for public hearing or decision is January 6th, 2022. Last regular meeting prior is January 5th, 2022. Extension was granted by applicant until March 2nd, 2022 meeting. So the applicant didn't have everything ready, and they asked or granted us an extension till March 2nd, 2022 to get the items that some of our commission members wanted to see. I think we need to do a motion to table it to the March 2nd, 2022 meeting. I'll entertain a motion to continue this matter to that meeting.
I will make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Second, was that Brian or Peter?
Brian. Yep.
Brian. Okay, thank you. I didn't see. Okay, great. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Then we have B, new business, request for release of performance bond. I guess I'll take these individually. Sub A, IWPA 2020-21-09, Rush 399 Riverside Drive. Demolish existing dwelling and construct new dwelling within a regulated area. This is the request of William Kenny Associates for a final bond release of $11,655. Do you have a motion to release this bond? Motion, Brian. Anyone to second that motion? Okay.
Yes.
All right. And all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We're good on that one. B, IWP 2019-20-08, Miller, 550 Old Oaks Road, invasive species control, create rear yard and construct house addition and covered deck within a regulated area. Request of Land Tech for final bond release of $3,815. There's a note, staff recommends partial release of $2,815.
Yes, and I'd like to, if I can just jump in for a second. The amounts are actually incorrect. I went off of what the site monitor had sent me. They had the wrong number in there. Their total bond was $7,410. So we are recommending a partial release of $6,410. And we are proposing to hold the other $1,000 for another growing season to ensure plant survivability.
Okay, Sarah, I'm sorry, I didn't have my pen ready. What's the amount? 6,000?
So the
All
full
but
amount was
$1,000.
$7,410. We are proposing a release of $6,410 and holding the remaining $1,000
1,000.
for plant
Okay.
survivability.
All right, well, hey, that sounds good because we want to get one more year out of it. Would anybody like to offer a motion that we release $6,410 and keep the remaining $1,000 for one more growing season?
Lucas, could I just ask a question if I may?
Yes, go.
Uh,
Yeah, sorry.
It's the first time I've seen something like this. Is this standard practice where you would wait for a growing season to come through? Okay.
Yes,
Sometimes
and the
you do-
applicant is aware of it as well.
yeah,
Right.
Sometimes
So
Rick,
he-
it's multiple growing seasons.
Okay, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's already been in for a full year, so this will
And
be
some-
the second
and
growing
some-
season.
And Sarah, someone will correct these financial numbers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so when it's done, it will be done
Okay.
correctly.
Well, I'll second it. How's that?
I think you need it first.
Oh, all
No,
right.
you're the first. Would anybody else second?
I will.
Peter, seconds. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Yeah.
excellent, thank you. And D, IWP 2018-19-18, Country Club of Fairfield, 936 Sasko Hill Road, demolish existing clubhouse and construct new clubhouse.
I think you skipped over one, Luke.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I
the
apologize.
Coral Drive.
Um,
No worries.
Item
No worries.
C, one IWP 2019-20-10, Orazio and Thomas, 64 and 82 Coral Drive, piping and fill in wetlands within a regulated area. Request of James Orazio for final bond release of $1,000. Anybody willing to make a motion to release?
That's the staff recommendation.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll move.
Okay, second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. That's approved. Now, sorry, IWP 2018-19-18, Country Club of Fairfield, 936 Sasko Hill Road, demolish existing clubhouse and construct new clubhouse and pro shop within regulated area. Request of Land Tech for partial bond release of $66,800, remaining balance of $5,000. So I just want to be clear again. So this is the staff recommends this, Sarah?
No, this was what the site monitor had requested for this one too. They were proposing to release most of the bond and retain some there's some part of one of the conditions of their permit was for some water testing that needed to be done for a period of 5 years. So it's to retain it for that and then plant survivability as well.
Okay.
What is the staff recommendation then?
The staff recommendation is what they had requested. We
Oh.
agree with them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then would somebody offer a motion to release the 66,800 and keep the balance of 5,000?
It's a lot to release. Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Okay, would anybody care to second that?
I'll second.
Okay, your pick, Sarah. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Item 2 there is status, monthly wetland business update for the agency. Do we need to do anything with that, or is it just, Tim, do you want to mention anything, or just see attached?
Yes, just attached. There's some mostly just violations, that we're working with. A lot of them are on hold, at the moment. Some need some poking to, move them along. And that's really all I have. Sarah, do you have anything?
Yeah, no, that was just a listing of the CWCs we've been working on, and nothing really exciting this month.
Okay.
Nothing new.
Sometimes that's good.
It's a nice change.
Yeah. Status of applications previously filed, 1, awaiting scheduled public hearing March 2nd, 2022. IWPA 2021-22-05, 4480 Black Rock LLC, 4480 Black Rock Turnpike. Construction of a residential multi-family dwelling with associated parking areas, driveway, and stormwater detention system within a regulated area. Petition received. So we're not doing anything with that today. That's just,
No, this is just a status update, just to keep it on so we don't forget about it. We're not opening the public hearing tonight, obviously, but I did just want to mention we received a petition from the public with more than the necessary number of signatures on it for a public hearing as well. So,
okay.
so the public is interested.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Did they ever get back to us about marking or flagging? Because there was only a couple of the easements, I think, were the only things that were flagged, and we wanted them to do a little bit more. So if we go out there to see it.
They did
I believe
confirm
it's
that
going
they
to
will
be
have,
done.
Oh.
Go ahead, Tim.
we got the lag. They did confirm that would be complete by the time we have a site walk.
Okay.
If that's executed on the 13th.
Very good. Roman 6, other. A, availability to schedule site walk on February 13th, 2022 at 4480 Black Rock Turnpike, IWP 2021-22-05. So that's what we're talking about now. So go ahead, Tim.
Thank you. Yeah, this is on here to get determined availability from you as commissioners, who's here tonight, to schedule a site walk so we can, as a department, properly notice it in advance and publish notice. So I figured I would throw it on here just to gauge everyone's feeling and availability for a Sunday morning walk similar to what we did the last time.
Yeah.
Or suggest an
I
alternative.
I think that would be fine. The Super Bowl doesn't start until 6 o'clock at night, so we're okay with that. But it was very helpful the last time we went out, and this is going to be a pretty big town, wide issue, and I think we should be prepared for it. I would highly recommend that commissioners take some time to go look at it. I know I'll be doing it, so please think of it, and I might also send out an email. Tim, you should do as well for the commissioners that weren't here to really consider doing that. What would be a good time for you, Tim, to do it, and then I can send out an email that says we're expecting to start at X, time.
I think since the property's unoccupied, I'm always in favor of earlier the better. Last time we met at 8:30.
Oh, can I interject?
If that works for everybody.
Yeah, firstly, as an alternate, I'm not the person, obviously, it may not be that I'd be voting anyway, but yeah, early is important just generally. It's a church day, sadly, but or I should say, there's gonna be a conflict there all the time. But arguably, I probably wouldn't be the person voting. I'm more than interested in accompanying on the sidewalk, definitely. There's no question about that.
We're mindful of that. And Peter, thank you for making that comment. It's finding time to do these things is difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
If on future things we do intend to do it more often, we'll try as the weather gets better and the light is longer in the day.
Yeah.
Maybe later in the evening on some of these other projects. So it's not so far. Most of us haven't been here that long, but this was we've only done one, and this just happens to fall on timing wise middle of winter, and that's a day that previously folks thought would be okay.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
That works for me, guys. I'm in on Sunday morning.
Okay. All right. So I'll talk to Tim and Sarah, and maybe we'll send out an email to the rest of the folks and include you guys to confirm 8:30 on February 13th to meet there and do a site walk. Okay. All right. Now I'll just let Tim go with it because these are your thoughts and your others, Tim. The schedule for the DEP and the supplemental training we talked about, and then you can let us know about the map rollout.
Great, thank you. Yes, I don't think it'll be too often. The other section will outweigh time-wise the rest of the agenda, but tonight it does. So Part B, Section 6, schedule a time, kind of a deadline to complete. As some of you know, I circulated the link from Darcy Winter at Deep that they finally were able to roll out on a new platform through Yukon, the MIWACTP, as I like to abbreviate it. Of course, I think it'll be great for everyone to take. As far as I know, I'm not sure that our regs have any requirement for commissioners to do it, but it is a good course. It's very, this is a good overview of wetlands in general. I've taken it in 2016 and 2020 before it switched again to the Yukon platform. So I plan to get it again just to do it. What you could expect is it's self-paced. There's 8 modules. They estimate about 8 hours, and it must be completed from the time you sign on. Must be completed within 60 days. So my question here is it reasonable to expect that those who take it completed by the end of March, which is roughly 60 days anyway, ahead of Part C, which I'll explain shortly. But there's no, you could do them one module and put it down for a week and pick it back up. There's no cost to anyone. It's just this quick, simple sign up, all online. Basically, just narrated videos and slides. It's pretty easy, but I think that'll be helpful for everyone. Are there any questions from me since I've taken it? I don't know if anyone else has in the past. No? Okay.
We get a shiny certificate we can hang up in the office at the end of it?
You do. In the past, the first one I took in 16, they mailed you like a nice one on bonded paper. When I took it in 2020, you had to print it out yourself. And now, according to the email, they send you another nice bonded certificate. So go figure. I think it's, maybe the surplus that our governor announced is willing to spend on certificates for us.
That's nice.
So no T-shirt.
So yeah, you will get a certificate. No T-shirt.
Well, I mean, I guess if there's nothing in our regs that requires commissioners to do it, I don't think we can make any of our brother commissioners and sister commissioners do it. But if you, I'd just like to put on the record that I think we should do it because we're, other than maybe Jay, we're really not soil scientists, and it might be good to know what's going on, and when we make our decisions, it might be good to have that basis and that knowledge when we make these decisions. Peter, yes.
I think it's also good, not just for me, it's good for the commission itself. Just think it supports I think it supports the public perception.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Done.
All right.
So I'm anxious for
As
the link.
many people could take it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'd be great. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
For personal education and growth and a commission like, so that's B. To follow up, letter C, supplemental training outlook, is exactly what it says. If something like the end of March works and is realistic for everyone that takes it, my intent was to supply additional training by SLR, which would follow up the deep training, and that would incorporate a brief, maybe an hour. They estimated about 2 hours, an hour in the classroom, which would probably be town hall conference room, and then we could go out in the back field where there are wetlands, and they could put some auger holes in the ground and dig some spade holes, show us hydric soils and upland soils, and just have a hands-on brief section to answer any questions that people may need answered that came about during the online deep course. Following that, this question has come up before and was I was working with Attorney Herbst and on prior to do a general land use, not just for our commission, but TPZ and kind of a combo land use, slideshow type of presentation with an attorney perspective covering general land use procedures, Robert's rules, that kind of thing. They agreed that they could put something together like that in May. Should we decide, I've spoken with EPZ Director Wint, and we're on board. It's just a matter of formally scheduling it this early in the game. And then to further supplement anything we would like, Commissioner Fain has volunteered to do something similar in the field with all of us in the summer or the fall. Maybe it's delineation related, look at more soils, maybe some plants, stuff like that. So that would cover letter C. If any questions with that or comment?
I would look forward to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would look forward to it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think being well educated, only helps everyone. So do my best to provide that as an option, and whoever is interested, obviously you can more than welcome, and those who aren't or can't make it, then there'll be plenty of other opportunities. Letter D, the revised townwide inland wetland map rollout. I have a conversation scheduled, which was supposed to be last week, but it got rescheduled at their request tomorrow with SLR. These maps are the townwide maps. To the purpose of the revisions are to separate inland from tidal wetlands, mostly in the southern part of town. Our current town maps show everything as wetlands and doesn't separate inland from tidal, which has been a conflict on several applications. Some have been litigious for years. So I think this separation is going to help us out, especially not only on this commission and agency, but internally in the department. So the logistics of that actual rollout and public hearings and everything as far as, because it's basically one giant map amendment, is being advised through town council with how to approach that as far as noticing and public hearing. Typically, if Johnny homeowner wanted to make a map amendment, there's certain requirements with notification and public hearing to abutters and whatnot. So council is going to advise us on how to approach this with, you know, maybe hundreds of parcels that have been impacted with abutters. You know, obviously we're not going to mail thousands of letters saying, hey, we're changing your neighbor's status or your own status. So we'll be receiving a memo from the attorney on that approach, which I expect next week. But I think separating inland from tidal will be a big help and avoid some of these conflicts that may occur in the future over, you know, over jurisdiction.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any questions on part D?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Letter E, I've been working with the subcommittee, Commissioner Fain, and his last name is hyphen Martins, I believe.
Yep.
Got that wrong. I can't
Martin
remember the other
Campbell.
half.
No.
Campbell, right? That's Martin's Campbell.
Martin's Campbell.
Thank you. Been working with them as a subcommittee, completing the revisions to regulation fees that we discussed at the last meeting. I believe we're going to try and get something scheduled next week to, I've received comments and revisions from both, so I'm putting those together and making those changes in a revised draft form. To that extent, had the thought that there's possibility of, if all this comes about and is distributed to you effectively, that possibly it's worth discussing in a separate session, special meeting following the next Conservation Commission meeting, which I believe is February 16th. Is that right, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. It's an option if things move smoothly enough that we'll discuss and notice down the line. Not even sure we have any material yet for that meeting other than this. And my only comment on pushing it forward is just time on the town hall's end with fee approvals and in budget season. If we get able to keep this ball rolling, and you know, we can get through the public hearing and that process, it'll be appropriate to where I have to go before Board of Finance to defend my position with town money and budget. So any questions on letter E?
No, sir. Okay.
One
right.
other thing I had that I didn't have on here, which would be letter F, just so everyone knows, I think I've mentioned it before, but the town has been getting closer to us as a conservation department rolling out the online permitting system. Currently, the building department is the only system that's online full-time right now. We are, I think, a few weeks away from that happening in conservation as the second department in town hall to do so. So the applicant would have two methods at this time to do it online fully and apply for a wetlands permit. You know, at 2 a.m. if they wanted, have credit card acceptance and everything like that, and that'll come to us through the proper channels online. for review, or that they'd still hand us a paper version over the counter that we'll have to work with the applicant to input and collect all the documents and attach. So I just want to let everyone know that that is coming. You know, like I said, in the coming weeks, IT and the town hall is on board pushing that along as well. So I think that's A through F is all I have at this point. One thing that did come up today on another quick one related to letter A was the public hearing for the 444-8 Black Rock Turnpike that I spoke with the Board of Ed administrator for the building on Kings Highway, and that we are scheduled for, we do have that reserved, that big room reserved. Speaking with the administration this morning, I wanted to bring this up tonight just to find out, since the town is not prepared, the town itself is not prepared to do in-person with a hybrid option. I don't know if, you know, we wanted to think about that moving forward, that if either a commissioner or the public who wanted to participate at the public hearing did not want to be in person at the Board of Ed building, they would not have the option to do a WebEx participation, as far as I know. I will check with Board of Ed to find out what their IT capabilities are. But the first selectman's office directed me to TPZ this morning. I spoke with Director Wint, and he's had 70 to 100 people on a WebEx call for public hearings. He said it's been fine as long as he gave me some tips on managing that many people. So not everyone's talking at once and dogs aren't barking in the back. He's had people on mute until they're given the time to speak through the chat feature in the queue. So there are some options. I just wanted to bring that up.
Okay.
Everyone know.
Well,
I could, if I do get information out of Board of Ed.
What commissioners that are here,
With
what would you guys feel more comfortable with? I mean, we thought last meeting we had mentioned being in person because of the possibility of the large number of people and getting a better understanding of it. But would you want to be remote for something like that?
But
I think I think the public likes the in-person. They want to see you people. They want to see what you look like, how you act, but it's also true that now you wouldn't want to keep someone out who doesn't want to be in a public place. So you really have a dual. What I would say is, at this point, everybody's getting used to this. Hey, we do church this way sometimes. So it's kind of becoming the norm. And hopefully that would be, you know.
I want to say that I was a big proponent for in-person. But the more I see, quite frankly, some disturbances in public. And as Peter brought up, you know, it's becoming kind of a way of life today. I hate the term new normal, but it's becoming a bit of a way of life. And I'd hate to see a police officer in that room with us, you know, but who knows what happens in today's environment, you know. So honestly, I'll go whatever way the group would like to go. It's up to you, Lucas, as chair, and the rest of the members.
Brian, any thoughts?
I don't think I have any personal preference. I think the important points were already made. I certainly prefer in person, but there are, as the other two members pointed out, there are practical issues with that, and certainly also we wouldn't want anyone that feels like they want to participate to not participate because they don't, feel comfortable in person. But if you're asking me my personal preference, it's in person.
in person. Tim or Sarah, when they did do public hearings, because really the other than, I'm not sure about Brian, but Rick, myself, and Peter, we weren't here prior to COVID, and no public hearing experience, if you will. Is it when people participate, is it they just get up and give a statement and sit down, or do the commissioners interact with the people that give statements?
Um,
No, it's not.
Typically,
Shouldn't be
I would say,
interaction.
typically what happens is there is a time limit, typically 3 minutes, and there's a podium set up. And the people who want to speak sometimes sign up, but hello, they might sign a list. It depends on how adversarial, unfortunately, it all becomes. But it's ordinarily, there's a podium to the right and people line up behind it. You might have an issue with people wanting to maintain 6 feet, but it's pretty orderly. But as a rule, the commission members do not interact. It's the public's time to speak,
Right.
and that's it.
Would we be
The commission members would speak at the end and comment, but we do not interact with the public during the public hearing itself, during the public
Okay.
portion of the hearing.
public portion of the hearing?
Yeah, and then so you open the public portion of the hearing as the chair, and the public speaks, and then you close the public portion, and then the commissioners speak.
I'm just wondering if it's something where if we give people enough time, if we do it in person, the folks that like to make a statement, that we can get something from them in writing and have it to be part of the record, or maybe have some individual read it on the
Well, you-
record.
Usually that doesn't, that would be fortunate, Lucas, if it happened, but usually it doesn't. I think
Yeah.
Peter's right. The public makes a statement. They
Yeah.
give their name and identification, make a
Right.
statement, we absorb it, and it moves on.
Yeah. Okay. That's just a thought.
One thing you might
They send a lot of written
consider,
comments in.
one thing you might consider, and I'm not necessarily suggesting it, you might consider whether you would allow one person to speak on behalf of a group, strictly for time. 3 minutes is not much for some people, and it can be really hard. And then it falls to the chair to kind of keep the hearing organized and moving along. And you let that 3 minutes bend sometimes, but you
Yeah.
might consider letting certain persons speak for a group and give that person 5 minutes. And
Gotcha.
I'm not advocating that, but it might help you.
Gotcha. Sarah?
I was just saying TPZ, I know like they'll have a stack of written comments that have been emailed into them for
Okay.
certain ones. So,
Right.
People are used to sending in comments now. I think that so much has been virtual. We also don't know if, like we said, there was a petition. There is a chance that some of these people may be hiring an attorney that may represent a group of people. Like Peter was saying, someone may be representing a larger group. And
Gotcha.
so they may be asking questions and presenting something themselves.
Oh, look, I have a dog group. We have thousands of members. If I was to go to a public hearing, it could be really beneficial to have me speak for 6 minutes as opposed to dozens of people, and it can get out of control. That might work very well, and save a lot of time just for that reason alone. It can help as an organizing feature, really.
Now, when we had last meeting, didn't we vote then to make it a public hearing? So now we're just talking about what form will the public hearing take place?
Correct. It's definitely a public hearing.
Okay. So how do we, because this is it, right? The next meeting will be the public hearing for the IWPA.
Well, I think, Peter, you
Yeah.
set ground rules at the opening of the meeting that the public will be recognized and allowed to speak for a portion of the time. as long as they state their name and location and whatnot. Peter brings up a good point about representing a group. And there are two sides to that. One, Peter's absolutely right. If someone represents a group that is 100 citizens, that's good. But someone else can stand up and say, I represent this group. And it could be a fictitious group where there's nobody there. So personally, I think that the time limit should be consistent, whether it's an individual or an attorney, or whether it's someone's claiming they represent a group.
And you know what? When you say that, I would be in total agreement.
Yeah.
The challenge will be for the chair to maintain the flow. And sometimes it's a little hard to stick to the 3 minutes, but
Sure.
you understand the point and how it
Sure.
generally goes.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, I can understand that. My concern is the hundreds of people on a Zoom thing. I'm not sure. I would prefer to have it in person, and if we can make accommodations for folks that can't be there somehow, I'd be happy to do that. But is that something we should vote on as the commission or can I just order it because I'm the commissioner? I don't.
One thing I would say is that when you're on WebEx or Zoom, the public may be typing away furiously in the chat. You have to have somebody to manage that, but I'm not sure that's recorded because the public hearing there needs to be some record of it.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
don't think there's a
recorded.
record of the chat.
So I would be frustrated if I was a person coming to speak,
And
thinking that I'm gonna type on the side of a bar and nobody's gonna hear it
Yeah.
or see it.
In
So-
zoning, they usually just say that the chat is not going to be recorded, it's not going to be monitored, and
Okay,
at the beginning of the meeting, they just leave it at that.
yeah.
Well, I think for my own purposes, I think it'd be better for me to be in person and I understand, how people feel about being in a room with other people, but I think this is too much of an issue for me personally to have it on a Zoom or this is WebEx. So I prefer to have it in person.
Okay.
I could confirm tomorrow with the Board of Ed building and maybe town's IT, what their options are on the technology side, and maybe even a call-in number for those who don't show up. Maybe they could at least listen, or
Yeah, we
That-
should be
let's see
able
what
to get
other
a call-in
options
number
there
so
are.
people can call and speak that way.
I mean, if like you said, Peter, you're a group of 100 members in your group. Okay, 3 people might not want to be in a room, but there might be that one individual who says, "Hey, give me your stuff. I'll go down," and I'll be more than happy to accommodate somebody saying that.
It's not
Is it gonna be
necessarily
the
your
same-
responsibility to work all that out.
Is it going to be in the same room there in the Board of Ed? Because that one wasn't very big.
I'm only
Yeah,
familiar with one. That's one conference room to the
Yeah.
left of the bar.
It's pretty
Yeah,
big.
yeah, it's right across from
It's
where
opposite the bar, exactly. Yeah.
from where the
It's
bartender
not, it's not that big. But
Yeah, since I've been going to the meetings, that's where they've always been. So I
Yeah.
don't know. And I believe that's where Board of Ed has their meetings too. And they may have an extra overflow room or something like that where people can go in and hear it. I'm not sure about that though. I can't remember.
One way or the other, it'll be an experience, folks. So I think it'll be interesting. So, and you know what? It'll be good. Baptism by fire for us. Many of us, Rick, Peter, and Brian, you too. How long have you been on this, Brian? Are you relatively new as well?
I
Or you-
was an alternate for 2 years.
Okay.
And then I think I've been a member for almost a year.
Almost okay. So you're.
So
I guess
three-
you're the
3
senior.
years.
You're the senior member here, but you know, it's going to be interesting because it's been through COVID. You know, all of this has been done through COVID. You know,
Right.
you know, I don't know. At least we got to get out there. I'm sorry. I think we got to do this one in person, and maybe that'll break the thaw and maybe start all the other ones in person, because that's really, you know, what we should strive for. I guess. I don't know. All right. Any other questions?
Nope. Very good.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, and second, and okay, all in favor. All right, folks. Good to see everybody. Stay safe. Enjoy
Have a
the
good night, everyone.
football and all that stuff coming up, and we'll see you soon.